You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
Day 2 of Chicago Bears mandatory minicamp is now in the books, and we have a whole lot of highlights to go over on today's episode of KIEQ on the Mic. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you also do me a huge favor by also liking today's episode of KIEQ on the Mic. So, Bears, just like I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, we are going to be talking about the Chicago Bears mandatory minicamp day 2 observations. So let's go ahead and get right into it. It was another great day of attendance for the Chicago Bears. Looked like Braxton Jones was not at practice, and the Bears also held out Cole Kmet and Tyler Scott, along with Dante Pettis and Karan Ahmadije. Matt Eberflus did say in his press conference after practice that both Braxton Jones and Kmet not practicing was precautionary, so no major injuries when you're looking at those two guys. So that's obviously really, really good news. Nate Davis was out there in a limited fashion today, splitting reps with Ryan Bates during team period. And my main question for you guys to answer on today's episode of KIEQ on the Mic: should we start being concerned about Nate Davis? Because I'm getting a little bit concerned about Nate Davis. Obviously, he had some personal issues, had some injury issues last season, and now he's coming into this next season with the Chicago Bears, and he still seems like he's having those same issues. I'm not sure if he's injured, what's going on with Nate Davis, but I don't think his job is safe. I don't think he is a lock to be the starting right guard for the Chicago Bears, especially when they went out and traded for a guy like Ryan Bates. So personally, as a Bears fan, I'm happy that he was in limited fashion, but I don't think I've seen Nate Davis practice in full for a very, very long time. So I don't know what's going on with Nate Davis, but I'm starting to get a tad bit concerned. But we will see how that develops in regard to the whole Nate Davis situation. I know when the media asks, for example, head coach Matt Eberflus about Nate Davis, he is very hush-hush about the situation. So I have no clue what's going on with right guard Nate Davis. But personally, as a Bears fan, I am starting to get just a tad bit concerned about Nate Davis. So now moving on, it was another up and down day for Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense. I do feel like they had a better day than day 1 of Chicago Bears mandatory minicamp. I know that the defense really got after Williams and the Bears offense yesterday, but I feel like today was a better day, but it was still a very much an up and down day. Still several learning moments for Caleb Williams. He actually threw an interception to Tremaine Edmonds in on 7-on-7 drill. It was a lot of traffic in the area, and Edmonds was able to secure the pick on Caleb Williams. And basically the observation from that play was Caleb Williams held on to the ball for a little bit too long. And I know that Matt Eberflus has said before that they're comfortable with Caleb Williams making these mistakes. Obviously, Caleb Williams has a very big arm, and he's going to test the waters. He's trying to get a fit the ball in some tight places as well. So the Chicago Bears are okay with Caleb Williams making these mistakes here in mandatory minicamp, making these mistakes during training camp. They just do not want to see those mistakes when they get into the regular season. So as a Bears fan, I am totally fine as well. Caleb Williams' best throw of the day was a deep ball down the sideline to Velus Jones Jr. for a 40-yard touchdown. Terell Smith was in coverage for the Chicago Bears defense. Velus Jones Jr. was able to get behind the Bears defensive back. And I just want to make it clear that the Bears had their backups in on this play. This was not against the Bears starting secondary. Now moving on to Montez Sweat, as he is still in the ramp-up period. Got a couple of reps in during team period today. So that's obviously good news. He is the anchor for the Chicago Bears defensive pass rush. And he's going to be huge for the Chicago Bears once again in his second season with the Chicago Bears. Going back to Caleb Williams now, his connection with DJ Moore continues to thrive, Bears fans. Williams led the first team offense down the field for a field goal in a 2-minute drill. He had a big completion to DJ Moore along the left sideline. Also had a really, really good throw to Roma Dunze down the field in traffic. So you can tell that he's creating a good connection with DJ Moore. a really good connection with Rome Odunze. Obviously, you've seen some clips as well of him starting to create that connection with Keenan Allen as well. Once again, Ryan Poles, you are the man. The Chicago Bears trio of wide receivers will make Caleb Williams' job very easy in his first season with the Chicago Bears. But just hearing constantly that he's making big plays to DJ Moore, making big plays to Rome Odunze, makes me feel really good about the future of this Chicago Bears offense. Now moving on to talk about the punter. Tory Taylor is a weapon for the Chicago Bears. He had a clink today at day 2 of Chicago Bears mandatory minicamp. He had 4 punts down inside the 5, including one that bounced out at the 1-yard line. He also had an additional 3 punts down inside the 10, and it was actually a really windy day at Halas Hall. Bears fans, this kid is a weapon. I know there's a lot of people around the NFL that were kind of talking mess about Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears taking Tory Taylor in the 4th round in the 2024 NFL draft. But this is going to be huge for Chicago Bears special teams. It's going to be huge for flipping field position as well. Tory Taylor is going to be an absolute weapon for the Chicago Bears moving forward. After practice, Matt Eberflus actually had his press conference, and he called Caleb Williams remarkable when throwing on the run. And he also said it's a weapon and that the Bears actually need to use more. And I definitely agree. We all seen Caleb Williams be able to throw on the run. It is a weapon. You have to keep the defense off balance. I do agree that we also need to see Caleb Williams under center as well. But make sure you're also doing what he does well as well. And that's him rolling out, throwing on the run, use him as a weapon. It will make the Chicago Bears offense more explosive. Matt Eberflus also said, get ready for a very competitive training camp. That's what he told the guys after practice. He wants the Bears to be elite at competing against each other. And here's the one thing, obviously you have your guys that are locked in for their roster spots, but then you're going to have a bunch of guys competing at a high level, trying to make this 53-man roster. This is going to be a very competitive training camp. And that's why NFL Films chose the Chicago Bears to be on this season of Hard Knocks. It is going to be a sight to see. Once again, the Chicago Bears got after it for day 2 of Chicago Bears mandatory minicamp. They have one more day tomorrow, and then that will wrap it up for the summer until late July when they start training camp. So once again, I wanted to hop on here really quick just to give you guys some observations from day 2 of mandatory minicamp. I feel like it was a good day at work, a good day of competing. Caleb Williams, the Bears offense, the Bears defense, everyone on the Chicago Bears got better today, and that's what you want to see moving forward. But Bears fans, before I let you guys go, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of KIEQ on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on KIEQ on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You've been listening to KIEQ on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.